Hey everybody, thanks so much for watching this training video. Today we are talking about small groups. Why do we do small groups? What does it mean to be a small group leader? And what are some tips that we can give you to make you more successful? Well, we'll talk about that, so let's get right into it. First, the why. Why do we do it? Well, a lot of times we want to impact so many people and we say, just bring as many people as you can and I'll try to invest in them, but it turns out that doesn't work out too well. And even Jesus shows that you can only invest in a few if you want to make a great impact. So that's what we want to do, because what we can do for the few a lot of times has a greater impact than for the many. And we just want kids to build an authentic faith, and we want to invest in them as they do that. So that's our goal, and we can really have a win in small group when we see that kids are having meaningful interactions with people both inside of the group and outside the group, and taking those things and just having a deeper relationship with Jesus and other people. So that's the goal, and that's what we're shooting for small groups. So your next question might be, what do you want me to do as a small group leader? I'm so glad you asked that. Here's 5 things we can start with. First, I want you to be present. I want you to connect their faith to community by showing up predictably, mentally, and randomly. So predictably, we'll be here on Sunday mornings, and make sure you're here mentally too, that you're ready and you're prepared. But also randomly, there's those times when kids have ball games and kids have piano recitals, and for you to be there randomly is huge for them. Also, I want you to create a safe place. So to clarify their faith as they grow by leading the group, respecting the process, and guarding the heart. So kids need to trust you, okay? So make sure you don't do anything to betray their trust, but we're having a safe place for kids. Also, we're going to be partnering with parents. We're going to nurture an everyday faith by cueing the parent, honoring the parent, and reinforcing the family. We are family first here, and we think what happens in the home is so important. So we're going to have resources for parents too, but you are coming alongside the parent as a parent partner and helping disciple these kids and helping them have an authentic faith. So that's what we want you to do, is we want you to partner with parents. We also want you to make it personal. Inspire their faith by your example, by living in the community, setting priorities, and being real. So we love personal stories. Kids love to hear the things that have happened in your life, whether it's funny, whether it was just this crazy thing that's happened, but make sure that you are being real and you're being genuine, okay? Kids can see right through that a lot of times if we're, not exactly as it seems, okay? So make it personal. And then move them out. Engage their faith in a bigger story by moving them to someone else, moving them to be the church, moving them to what's next. So they won't be in your group forever. We have it set by grades. So once they move up to the next grade, they're out of your group. So how are you preparing for them to do that? And what are they going to be as they're going out into the community being the church? So prepare them to be out there. Who can be a small group leader? Well, you don't have to be a theologian. You don't have to have a Bible degree, but here's some things you do need. First, you got to love God. Second, you got to care for kids. Third, you need to be invested and committed to your group for a period of time. And then fourth, you have to complete a background check and watch our child abuse video. That's something we have all of our leaders do, is complete a background check and watch the child abuse video every single fall. So that's what it takes to be a small group leader, is those 4 things. And we also have some expectations too. We want you guys to be on time. So we start at 9 o'clock, but we don't want you to show up right at 9 o'clock because we're letting the kids in the building at 8:45. So if you can get here at 8:30, that way we can huddle up and pray and get ready for any last minute details. That would be ideal, and that would be great. So 8:30 is the time to be on time. And then also, it's a good time to look and see if you need any more materials, if you haven't already gotten your materials that you need for the day. And there is a location for materials here in the KidMin building, and let's go see where it is. Come on, follow me. All right, we're walking in the door. We're following this path in order to find where the resources are. So we are going to turn left here, and then we're going to go into this area right over here. go into this room, and here we can find many, many resources. So we have so many different things: crayons, markers, scissors, glue, all sorts of things, and they're labeled right here. We are working to get a inventory list to make things a little bit easier on you, but feel free to come into here, look for anything you might need, and you can use it. We got paper over here, and it would be helpful to your class. Take as much as you need. You can put it back when you're done and get ready for the next week. There's also one other room that I'd like to show you. Follow me. So instead of turning and going to that room, we're gonna go down the lockers. All the way into the cafeteria. Going over here into the gym. And this room that I was about to show you has a lot of different game items. It's what we used for kids' church before COVID, and a lot of different items, as you'll see in just a second. Right in here. So in here we have a lot of different game items, and we are going to work to inventory this so that we can have a list to give to you, and you can look through it and see if there's any items that you might need. A lot of puppets here, and pool noodles, hula hoops, some bowling ball pins, stack cups, a lot of different things here that could be used if you would like to use so in your small group. A very, very, very important thing to do as a small group leader is to get to know your kid. And I know what you're thinking. That's obvious, okay? Of course I want to get to know my kid. But what could be a tool to help me do that? Well, this app is amazing. It's called Lead Small. And what it does, it has several different things about it. First, it has the small group guide already inside of it. It has a devotional and the Bible story overview for the week. You can also get coaching and training tips from this. You can view icebreakers, and most importantly, you can add the kids in your group to the app. That way you can record their information, you can write down their birthday, their hobbies, their sports they play, a school name, parents' name, favorite candy bar, etc. And then use that information to get to know the group a little bit better. So especially when someone's having a really tough day, and then you want to give them something, but when you give them their favorite something, that just makes it huge. So Lead Small app, it is a great, great tool to use. And my personal thing, I like it the best about it, is that you get to add kids to it and keep track of their information. And then also the icebreakers. Okay, there's an icebreaker tab. You can keep hitting refresh, new questions pop up, lots of laughs, lots of interesting answers. Check it out, make sure you download it, and it's called Lead Small app. Here's a few other tips for you. So another tip, if you have the ability to and you are able to, try to attend an event that this kid is doing outside of group. So whether they have a baseball game, they have a piano recital, whatever it may be, try to show up to that. And that is huge if you could. Kids just think that is the greatest thing. They think that sometimes we live at the church, or if they're a teacher, they live at school, whatever that might be. But it's really huge when they show up randomly like that. And I know a lot of times you can't do that for every kid, and even those kids that you can't show up to, and you know that they have something coming up, say, oh Joey, I'm so sorry that I couldn't make it, but please have your mom send me a video of it, and then he comes in the next day, ask him about how it went, and be able to just talk through those things, just so that they know that you care, because that's what we really want to convey to them, is that we care about you and we are interested in your life and those kind of things. So again, try to show up to those things if you can. Also, as you are leading your group and getting input, make sure that you speak less and listen more. Okay, and it might be really hard sometimes. She'll ask a question and then there's that silence. And sometimes it's like, man, did 5 minutes just pass, or 5 seconds? And it just feels like forever. It might be super tempting to want to answer your own question, but just give it time. Sometimes kids just need a little bit of time to get the gears going, think about it, and then the answer will come out. Okay, so just give it time. Make sure that you're listening more and just allowing that time for kids to talk. Also, there may be an opportunity where a kid trusts you so much and they say, hey, Mr. Brian, can I tell you a secret? And this can be a little challenging thing, but let me share with you something. So if a kid says, let me tell you a secret, but you can't tell anybody, okay? They say that to you. You say, Joey, I want you to trust me that I am going to make the best decision with this information that you give me. Because there might be a secret that we hear that we can't hang on to. We can't keep a secret. We might learn that somebody's being abused or there's something else going on that we cannot sit on that information. We need to tell the proper people that and have that be dealt with. But then again, you might have the secret that says, my backpack at school is green. All right, great. I'll hang on to that secret. But just make sure that you don't say, okay, yeah, I promise I won't tell anybody what's going on. Okay, you got to say, I will do what is best with the information that you give me. Sometimes they can keep it if it's just the backpack's green, but if there's other things, we can't keep those secrets. So make sure you never promise that you'll keep a secret. A couple other things that we can do for our groups is we can be sending out cards, okay? Now, one thing I like to do, I like to send out birthday cards to all of my volunteers in kids ministry and also the kids that show up consistently in kids ministry and send them birthday cards. We live in a time where you get tons and tons of email and you don't get that many letters, but when you do get a letter, it is so special, especially for a kid. So if you could send out some letters or just some little postcards and just letting them know you're thinking about them and just, or that, hey, we miss you. We know you missed the past month or, things like that. And if it's their birthday, even better. Say, happy birthday, man. You're awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of my group and being able to send out a birthday card like that. So kids love getting stuff in the mail. If you can, send out some cards to your kids. And then also make sure you are praying for your kids, okay? And a lot of times in small group, we have our prayer time and I want you guys to take these prayer requests, pray for them there, but don't let that be the end of it, okay? Next week when you come back in, hey, Tommy, we heard that last week you told us your dad was in the hospital. Is that getting any better? Can you give us more details on that? So we're not just praying for it and forgetting about it. Write it down, keep it in your notes app on your phone, and be able to continue to pray through that through the week, and then keep record of that. How did God answer that prayer? And then you can celebrate as a group saying, yeah, my dad's out of the hospital. He's completely better. Awesome. Let's give God praise and glory for that. So pray with your kids and write notes to your kids. When you're with your kids, make sure you stay engaged with your kids, okay? It might be really simple, really easy for us to kind of, someone we might be teaching at the moment, it might be the other person that's talking, and then we might get out our phone and want to browse Facebook a little bit, see what's going on, see who's tweeting over at Twitter, but don't do that, okay? I don't mind you pulling out your phone to take some fun pictures. We can post on our Facebook group. Make sure you join our Facebook group if you haven't already. Or, you're looking at some of the icebreaker questions on your phone. Just try not to be on your phone if it's just you're not engaged, but stay engaged to the kids. And that might mean getting down on their eye level. Okay, some of us are a little bit taller and the shorter kid, take a knee so that you can be a little bit shorter and see them eye to eye and stay engaged. A lot of times we just need those blinders on, kind of like with a horse. You just kind of need to stay focused. Give a kid your complete attention when they're talking to you, because we want them to give us their attention when we're talking, so we can do the same and show them that same respect when they're talking. So stay engaged, and also stay engaged in a way that know what's going around in kid culture. Okay, for example, before COVID happened, and I don't know if this is still true or not, just because I haven't been around too many kids since COVID, but Fortnite was the biggest thing, okay? Everybody loved Fortnite. There's Fortnite dances and all that. So anytime I could do a Fortnite dance, kids would be like, oh, you're the best, you're the coolest. So kids think you're the coolest thing ever if you can do Fortnite dances. Why? Because Fortnite's was in at the moment. Might be in right now too, I'm not quite sure. But know what's going around and know what's going on, because if they come up to you and say, hey, go ahead and floss. And then you're like, oh, I don't know. And then you don't know what flossing is. You don't know it's like this. But know those kind of things. It gives you a little bit of credibility, helps you be a little bit cool for kids, and they'll listen to you a little bit more when you have that credibility. So stay engaged and knowing what kids are going through, and then also just being able to give them your complete attention. And then I wanted to mention too, it's also good to stay engaged and be ready for the small group time. And with that, you might need to print off some stuff. I know we talked about materials earlier, but if you need to print off anything, you need any extra copies, we no longer have a copier here in the kids ministry building. So we would need to go over to the church building and print out those copies, make those copies there. So if you want to do that during the week, that's fine. Or if you want to get here a little bit earlier on Sunday in order to get that done and be able to make sure you're part of the team huddle, that's great too. But just giving you a heads up, I know it's a little bit of an inconvenience, but it is what it is right now. Well, thanks so much for watching this training video. Hopefully it's been helpful to you, that you've learned something that you can make a part of your group. And I'm sure there's probably something that I missed. There's so many different things we could have talked about for small groups. So if there's something you have a question about, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd love to talk through things and figure out what's best for our kids. So reach out to me if you have any questions about anything. But one takeaway I want you guys to do is I want you to download that Lead Small app. Okay, here's the picture of it again. It's called the Lead Small app. And with that, it's gonna help you so much as you have your group of kids. You can know stuff about them, know their birthday, be able to write those cards to them, and it's just a great tool that we can use. It's called the Lead Small app. So guys, thanks again for watching this video. Thanks again for being a small group leader here at Central Kids. We are excited, and we're gonna just give God the praise and glory for how He's gonna work in these next couple of months. So I will see you guys later on.